China's 11th National Day military parade was attended by 700,000 people. More than 11,000 officers and soldiers took part, and though the ceremony was larger than that of previous years, it was all over in less than an hour. Tiananmen Square had already been rebuilt and expanded by 2.5 times to a total of 4.3 million square feet. The square was bordered by the Tiananmen Rostrum at the north, the Museum of Chinese History at the east, the Great Hall of the People at the west, and the monument to the people's heroes towering over the southern side, creating a spectacular backdrop for the year's parade. Peng Dehuai had been replaced as National Defense Minister by Lin Biao, who took up the job as parade commander, while Yang Yong became the parade director. The vehicle divisions included 2 motorized infantry divisions, 1 parachute division, a howitzer division, a cannon division, a heavy tank division, and a gun division. 155 planes took to the skies, consisting of 1 bomber division and 4 fighter divisions of J-5 fighters. The weapons and equipment in this parade were largely domestically produced. For example, 5 of the 6 types of artillery were made in China. The Type 59 armoured tanks were also Chinese-made, becoming the first generation of main battle tanks domestically produced. In fact, the design of the tanks had been approved, their production launched, and the finished product rolled out, all within the same year. The automatic rifles used by the troops were also made in China, marking a new phase in the modernization of the PLA's weapons and equipment. But that year's parade wasn't just about the hardware on display, it was also about someone who was there to watch. If Beijing's Russian Quarter had existed back in 1959, there would have been a great deal of interest here in that year's parade. That's because Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev accepted an invitation to attend. But if Sino-Soviet ties appeared good at the time, cracks were beginning to show, and the relationship didn't last much longer. Fresh from a landmark visit to the United States the previous month, Khrushchev turned up in Beijing for the October celebrations, standing by Mao's side at center stage. And while there were smiles on the day, relations had cooled a few years earlier, and by 1960, the disagreements had become public. China was disillusioned by Khrushchev's departure from Stalin's ideals, and ties were formally ended in 1962. It was also the end of another sort. The 1959 parade was the last one for 25 years. In September 1960, it was decided to celebrate on a small scale every 5 years, while celebrating on a larger scale with military parades every 10 years. But parades were soon denounced during the Cultural Revolution era, and with China struggling to cope with a crippling famine, military parades of any sort were cancelled outright. Mark Dreyer, BOS.